Hello and welcome to Cruise News with Cruise RX, your cruise prescription. So we have got some interesting stories, let's say that, for today. But today is Throwback Friday. Now, I know normally it's supposed to be Throwback Thursday, but I might not get this video done on Thursday, so it's probably Friday when this thing launches. So we'll just call it Throwback Friday for today. But tell me if you recognize this TV show. Just want to see the audience, get a gauge on how old the audience is if they remember this TV show. So comment below if you know what the TV show is and about what years it aired. So the stories we've got, there was some luggage lost at sea with a cruise passenger. They were a little bit upset. Didn't have their luggage. Luggage apparently took its own cruise. So not good, but we'll get into that. A couple Carnival employees were arrested for stealing. So, we all cruise. We've all stayed in hotels. You always worry, is anything going to get stolen? Never had an issue on a cruise. Really haven't had an issue in a hotel either. But a couple Carnival crew members were arrested for stealing. And there were some passengers who were so angry they refused to get off the ship. Now, that one I would like to see. Not sure how they would handle that, but we're going to talk about that story. We've got some other things, too, to get into. So more coming up. Let's go ahead and get into it. So Holland America has made a big announcement, and so for their Voyages cruises, they are rolling out 15 new production shows. So they have a cruise that's going to start in January 25. It's going to leave out of Fort Lauderdale. It is 120 days. It's on a Zuiderdam. It goes to 49 ports, 30 countries, 6 continents. And they'll have these new production shows created by Blackburn International. I don't know who Blackburn International is. They must be pretty good, though, because Holland America just threw a bunch of money at them to create these shows. And so if you're on a ship for 120 days, that's 4 months, 12 weeks. So you've got better than one new show per week. And, since each show can cost $1 million to actually produce, they've obviously thrown some money at their entertainment. You would want the ability to see new shows at least each week while you're on a cruise that long, so you just don't go crazy. I mean, listen, I love cruising, but 3 months on a cruise ship, or 4 months, on a cruise ship is a long time. But 30 different countries, 6 continents, that would be an incredible, incredible journey. So once again, it's Holland America, their Voyages cruises. This ship, the Zuiderdam, if you've got 4 months to spare, this might be a cruise for you. So next we have the story of a passenger on a celebrity cruise out of Amsterdam, and her luggage somehow ended up in the water. So the only thing I can think is that when they're transporting the bags on the ship, they use, a forklift. And the only thing I can think is that it fell off the forklift, and if nobody saw it, probably nobody saw it, but if they did see it, they probably thought, it's just one bag, nobody will miss it. We got 5,000 of the bags we just loaded. Well, apparently this was her only bag, and she did indeed miss it. Her name is Lindsay Hardsheimer, and she had medication in it. Of course, she had all her clothes. She also had a backup phone in the bag, so she was able to call that phone. A fisherman had fished the bag out of the water, answered the call, and then was making arrangements to ship the bag for her back to her home. So she got on a ship, bags missing, of course. The celebrity said, well, we'll give you a $500 credit. But then a celebrity found out that this young lady is a social media influencer in Europe and has over 100,000 TikTok followers. So then what celebrity was willing to do dramatically increased. The medical team replaced the medication that she needed. They gave her over $1,000 in onboard credit that she was able to go and buy clothing, and also refunded her cruise. So kind of fun, at first they gave her $500, then when they find out she's an influencer, whoop, it goes way up. But at least she was made whole. So would love to know, I'm sure they have footage at the pier, how this bag made it in the water, and if anybody saw it. And I've never heard of this happening before. I'm sure it has. It must have happened before. But, she got her stuff back, and she was able to have the cruise with no issues. So this next story is very serious, and it has to do with theft on a cruise ship. And like I mentioned before, it's Carnival Cruise Lines. Somebody wrote in on John Heald, who is the face of Carnival, Facebook page, and accused Carnival employees of stealing these cruise ducks. The ducks that people bring on cruise ships and hide. And the people who wrote into Facebook said that the cruise ducks are intended only for passengers and not for crew members, and felt that the employees were stealing them. Now, we have hidden ducks from time to time. 2 cruises ago, we tagged one duck with a special note and gave someone $100 for finding that duck. So we do that. And on the upcoming cruise, haven't decided if we're going to hide ducks or not. But when we were out and about, I did hide a duck, and I watched a crew member who was cleaning find the duck. So I went over and talked to her, and she said she had a whole collection in a room of ducks that she had found. I didn't care. I mean, I don't care who finds a duck, but it was just cool to see someone find it and then talk to her. And it's something for the crew members to do. And when they leave the ship, they take all their ducks with them. So no big deal. She found a duck. It was our duck that we hid. Someone was going to find it. I didn't say that it had to be a passenger. Honestly, I didn't even think about a crew member finding it, but it was no big deal. But somebody on Facebook, in the Facebook world, felt it a serious enough issue that they had to write John Heald, publish their concerns to the world, that a crew member would have the audacity to take a duck that they had hidden to be found. So anyway, if you're on a cruise ship, if you're hiding ducks, great. People love to find them. But do not care if a crew member happens to find it. These people work very hard on the ships. They're away from their families. They don't make a whole bunch of money. And if they happen to find a duck, great. It helps them pass their cruise. So, Carnival, you did nothing wrong. Someone found, one of your crew members found a duck. So, people, please, if you hide ducks, crew member finds it, please get over it. As always, please be sure to like this video, give us a thumbs up, click on that subscribe button, and click that notification button so you know every time that we do a video. Super important, really helps out the channel a lot. So this next story is from Costa Cruise Lines, which is a part of Carnival Cruise Lines. And it's a ship that was launched in 2007, the Serena, Costa Serena. So it was on an Asian itinerary. It was leaving from Taiwan. And after the cruise started, a typhoon, a hurricane, was going to interrupt their itinerary. So as all cruise lines do, when there's a storm or bad weather, sometimes they have to adjust the itinerary, change ports. Maybe you pick up some sea days. It happens. It's happened to us. Nothing the cruise line can do, but they have to keep their passengers safe. So the cruise line had to adjust some ports, and then they were forced to end the cruise a day early. So passengers picked up an extra sea day, lost a port, but then it went back to port early. And well, here's the reaction of the passengers on the ship to losing a day on the cruise. So I'm not sure what those folks were saying, but I don't think it's "We love Costa." So clearly not happy, and I can't blame them. I would be angry too if the cruise was cut short. But in this situation, I don't see how the cruise line had any other option. They lose money too because people aren't spending money on a ship if they're not on a ship. So that is it for this edition of Cruise News with Cruise RX. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.